a cassowary.
Oh, it's spooky almost to think.
It is.
It's exactly the same shape, it's just a question of scale.
It blows you away to think that these animals are separated by 100 million years, yet their toes are absolutely identical.
About 230 million years ago, the dinosaurs split off from the rest of the reptiles, and then they flourished mightily through the so-called Mesozoic period, which was brought to an abrupt end 65 million years ago with the famous mass extinction, probably caused by a meteorite or comet colliding with the Earth. Only two groups of dinosaurs survived that catastrophe, both of them birds, and they have given rise to all the modern birds that we see.
The two surviving groups of birds have very different numbers of species. One has only 6 species. It includes mostly non-flying birds like the cassowary. The other group is gigantic. It includes nearly all the 10,000 species of flying bird alive today. Both groups evolved a highly sophisticated way of communicating. A dazzling variety of complex sounds.
G'day, Buck. How are you? Pleased to meet you.
Really good to see you. I'm meeting with cassowary keeper Clay Mitchell, who's hoping one of the big birds will sing for me.
The boys are always generally a little bit smaller than the girls. This girl here is actually a big girl.
Okay, can I give her some of this by hand?
Oh, of course you can. It's like feeding the kids McDonald's. Everything gets swallowed whole.
Here you go, do you want that? It all goes down the same way, doesn't it? It's just a pick, chuck, gone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
We feed that twice a day, 2 kilos in the morning, 2 kilos in the afternoon.
I gather she's quite a talker as well.
Yeah, she can boom. Actually, if we sit back after giving a little bit of a feed, she might actually give us a little bit of a boom for us.
Okay, well, she's had a good half of that, so let's leave that for now. Should we just perch over here and wait? Okay. Yeah. And it can just be spontaneous, just happen.
Yeah, basically. There's no real given rule as to why or when she actually does it, but it's definitely just sort of say, I'm big and I'm bold and I'm beautiful. Cassowary style.
That is some cool.
Oh, look, you definitely feel it.
Absolutely. It's not just what you hear. Inside, you can almost feel yourself vibrating in sync with her. It is an incredible noise.
Oh, it's the deepest baritone you've ever heard.
It kind of vibrates inside you. It's awesome. If you didn't know one of these was out there and you heard it, you were walking through this forest, it would scare the shit out of you.
Give it some tension there.
Do you want to do that? Joy's interested in how low-frequency sounds are made in her whale research. She's keen to take her scalpel to the cassowary's windpipe to see how it makes that boom.
Okay, so now we're pulling this out from there. Let's bring it around here past the esophagus. So the air is coming in through the nose here, going down the throat, down in this windpipe or trachea, till it gets to this point where the pipe actually splits and one goes into the left lung and one goes into the right lung. Most birds do their songs from a series of valves that are located down here that are different, and this double set of valves can actually create more than one sound at the same time. You get one from one side and maybe another restriction on the other side, so you can get 2 different sounds generated. So what I'd like to do is cut this open and see if the cassowary has the same structure as other birds that sing. And already what we can see here is something that's vastly different than what you see in a mammal. It looks like there's 2 drum heads in here, one on this side going down this main pipe and one on this side going down that main pipe. These 2 drum heads are seamed up against each other when these 2 pipes are closed. But in addition, the part where it comes together is actually quite rigid. So what we've got here is something that really will stay open, allowing the vibrations to pass along here. Now, in a songbird, they have a relatively short neck. they still have this. They still make these sounds. But this bird has a relatively long neck. So I'm wondering whether the length of this pipe in some way relates to the lower frequency. It's kind of like looking at a pipe organ. The longer your pipe, perhaps, the longer the sound resonant space it's using. I think what we're looking at is something that could make a vibration. It could certainly make a fundamental frequency.
I've heard one of these guys boom, and it's something you will never forget. And what we're seeing right here in front of us is the anatomy that allows that to happen. It's got these kind of drumming membranes to create that very low frequency. It's got a very long trachea, which can be the amplifier, and the whole thing's powered by the respiratory system, which is essentially a huge set of bagpipes. One anatomical feature that may help radiate the sound is the strange structure that sits on its head, the casque. Its purpose remains an enigma. This horny growth on top of its head is a kind of iconic part of a cassowary, and very dinosaur looking, isn't it?
And it's the thing that everyone talks about when they say they've seen a cassowary. You know, they see that big helmet on the top of their head. The classic thing is people think it's hard. They think it's like a rhino horn or something solid.
I mean, it's very spongy and it's not hard at all.
When we squeeze it, you can see that it's soft. It's quite soft. It's a hollow structure. It's not solid at all.
Can we have a look inside it?
Sure, let's go for it.
And Graham, I mean, what are the various theories for the
Sure,
purpose?
so there's a few. The helmet idea, I think we can quite simply disprove. You know, it's not a protective structure. When they go through the bush, they do sort of put their head down and go, and maybe it just helps part the way a little bit, but it certainly isn't protecting them from predators or anything like that. The second theory is like a resonance chamber. When they're making that deep noise, does it help amplify the sound? The theory that I probably tend to think towards is more of a showing-off type structure. I've got a big cask, so I'm better than you type thing.
Like a crown.
Yeah, like mine's bigger than yours, exactly.
Every cask is a unique shape and size. Perhaps cassowaries use them to recognise one another when choosing a mate.
This is looking really weird. It looks like
it's peculiar.
Looks like
it's looking like one of those scourers that you clean your kitchen pans with.
Exactly. There's air there, but there's blood vessels, and there's this delicate sort of structure going through it as well.
I can't figure out what this is. It is such a weird anatomical structure. It's soft here. It's crunchy over here. It's got practically nothing here. Yeah. That's the skull right there.
Brain cavity below that, yeah.
But wait, there's a hole here. That seems to be a hole right there. It's heading down towards the nose, away from the ear. And then there's another hole next to it right here, but I can't seem to get this tool into it.
No one's done any research at this part of the anatomy. This is a first for anybody.
It's extraordinary that this animal is so poorly understood, but we are now beginning to start revealing some of the mysteries of this incredible bird. For such a huge, colourful bird, the cassowary is still shrouded in mystery. No one even knows how many are left. David Westcott collects the DNA from cassowary dung to estimate the population size. Cassowary dung contains the unique DNA fingerprint of the bird which left it. By collecting and analysing each sample, David can work out how many birds live in any one area. His investigations have also revealed the cassowary's key role in the life cycle of the rainforest. Do they tend to lay them anywhere as they're feeding? Or?
Wherever's convenient. Aha, here you go.
What? You got one?
Yep, just up here.
Wow.
Yes.
That's one big turd, isn't it?
It is, it's a thing of beauty.
The number of seeds in here, in terms of if all of these germinated, in terms of new growth, new plants and keeping the rainforest alive, this is one really important turd.
That's right, that's right. A lot of these seeds will germinate.
And this is the piece of the jigsaw that just tells you how reliant the rainforest is on the cassowary.
That's exactly right, yeah. Ah, look at this. This is
what?
This is an old cassowary poo. So,
oh wow, look, you've got actually germinated seeds
that's right,
here.
that's right. When they eat the fruit, a lot of the flesh of the fruit gets turned into a pulp, and that's all disappeared and, washed away or degraded, and now we're just left with the hard seeds that remain. Yeah, and look, they're splitting open and...
And this is the beginning of new rainforest.
That's right.
Well, hold on. Listen. What?
Wow. Very quiet in here. About 4 metres away.
David's just spotted this. A wild cassowary. We are literally 3 or 4 metres away. It's feeding, it's picking up what look like tiny, tiny bits of fruit. Such a dramatic scene, isn't it? This incredible bird in the rainforest. It is just the perfect scene. But it's time to let him or her be.
It's almost impossible to tell the difference between males and females. The wattles that dangle from the throat are thought to play a part in luring a mate, but even they don't enable us to tell the sexes apart.
We'll just try and pull all this out if we can. Just cut down through there. And we can see out the other side, and there we go. That's what I thought it was. This.
Okay, what do we?
I know what this is.
Okay, we've got eggs.
It's a girl.
We've got an ovary there. We've got an ovary with what have we got? Follicles here.
Wow,
We've got
look at
one,
Loads of them.
two,
Look at all these.
3, 4, 5 big ones.
The size of the ovaries reveals that our cassowary was a breeding female.
This bird was hit in sort of August, September, which is the breeding time for these guys. So she would have been out looking for a mate, getting their eggs ready. When they're fertilised, she's obviously going to lay those eggs.
The female will mate with a number of males and then lay between 2 and 5 huge eggs. Next, something extraordinary happens. The mother abandons the eggs and the father takes over.
The male will sit, and he sits on those
Well, hang on a
eggs.
minute. So she just then says, "Thank you very much, done my job, I'm
Exactly.
off." You,
Exactly.
oi, sit.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly.
That's the life.
It's
That's called nagging.
It's a single dad from then on. He does all the
Really?
work.
The cassowary dad is left to rear the kids, from baby chicks to young adolescents.
In fact, the interesting thing with the female is not always are the eggs that she lays for that male, not all of them are his. She might mate with a male down the road. She might mate with a male over the hill.
That's outrageous.
And he'll sit on them. He'll raise them. He'll grow them up, and he'll go. And he doesn't really even know if they're his.
When they reach maturity, the male leaves them to fend for themselves.
Fascinatingly, there's some evidence that some extinct dinosaurs, including Tyrannosaurus, did the same thing, because fossils have been found that appear to be males associated with eggs. So it would be wonderful to think that this ancient method of reproduction has been preserved from dinosaur times in cassowaries.
So Tyrannosaurus rex was the kind of ultimate dad in terms of a role model for bringing up the kids.
Well, for them, yeah.
That's shocking. Scott's taking Simon 600 kilometres inland to Lark Quarry, where a remarkable set of fossils is preserved. They show one last similarity between dinosaurs and the cassowary.
Well, welcome to Lark Quarry.
Wow, that's...
It's phenomenal, isn't it?
It's like the outside inside.
So this is an absolutely unique set of dinosaur footprints. There's nowhere else in the world that you can see these, because it's a 15-second snapshot in time. But I'll paint you a picture of what this place is like. Imagine you're standing on the edge of a billabong and it's drying up, and it's left this big flat mud flat, so it's completely open.
Yes.
There's a group of dinosaurs, about 150 of them. They're all congregated around the water's edge, and they're all about the same size, from chicken-sized to about the size of an emu or a cassowary. Something startles them, and they all start sprinting in the one direction, obviously getting away from something.
And do we know what that something was?
Well, we do have some footprints that might help that out. Let's have a quick look and we'll show you. So we come up to this side of the trackway and look.
Is that it?
Yes, that's
Are you
right.
serious?
Well, there's not just this one. Look, if you look out